This is chapter number 1, Basics of Internet, class 9, CBSE we are taking, Computer Science. Basics of Internet, define the following terms. So there are certain questions we are going to take. URL, we have already discussed about this, but we'll take them shortly. URL. This is Uniform Resource Locator. What does it mean? You have a web browser. Now you type something, and whatever you type, that is proper address. That is, it will locate something. Whatever you want, that address has certain location, and that content will come to you. So this is an idea, or URL, Uniform Resource Locator, to locate the resource you want on your screen or wherever you want. FTP is File Transfer Protocol. So every protocol is between you and me, or different companies, different devices. So there has to be some protocols. The file transfer protocol is all about transferring the files from one host to, say, another host, or one host to other server, or vice versa. You want to send something and receive something. Okay, that can be a file, and file can be anything. So this we are talking about. There is an internet, and internet is normally the TCP based, but UDP also is used, because in FTP basically it's FileZilla program you might be aware of. They all use this FTP to send audio, video, or whichever file you want. Blogger and blogging will take together. See, blogger is a person who creates a website according to his say personal opinion, hobbies, interest. ARPANET is a project started in 1969, and this was started by United States Department of Defense, DoD, and it was started in 1969. Now this project was connected because in DoD we have already got that prototype developed of basic internet. But always that defense is always related to the different universities to get their work done. So two universities, and they combined the university along with this their own DoD. So this was called as ARPANET. And this is the basic building block of today's internet, what we see. Protocol is the set of rules, regulation, which two parties they follow, and they are following, and this is true for the communication also. Say www.abc.com you are writing. If you remove, or if you make certain mistakes here in email, if you don't write @ so all these is the protocol you are not following. That is, if you are writing some hash in place of .com, it won't work. There is a protocol. There is a kind of agreed upon following rules kind of stuff, right? So this protocol, simply as I discussed earlier also, you cannot go to a marriage with a half pant. So as I was saying, blogger and blogging we're going to take together. So blog is a website. Okay, it's nothing other than the website. So you have a personal opinion. You will say Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything is a blog only, because you are actually showing your interest, hobbies. But you don't own it. You don't own Instagram. You just have a page. Previously, Orkut was there. Everyone was on Orkut. Then the Facebook came, and Orkut, nobody knew where it went. So this is how blog, you own it, you have it by yourself, and then you can show your interest, etc. So as I was saying, TCP/IP. So TCP/IP, all these. Before that, we have ISO, OSI. So these are certain model. They have different layers, and these layers are TCP/IP is a model. So this is a layer, 5 layer, and there you form a connection. I'll give you a hint. If you want to, different host and computer or the machines to talk, that means if you want to talk them in TCP, you have to have a port address and the internet, this IP address to connect to it. And there is a reliable communication in TCP. And IP is internet protocol for which all this internet is working. So TCP/IP is you can say a layer scheme. 5 layers are there, and we just talk that okay, application layer is layer 1, this layer is layer 2, And all these, see, this is the data I'm talking about. You have a header size, you have a packet size, you have a checksum. So all this will have a proper formation, and that will be governed by the TCP/IP layer or different layer rules. HTTP is what? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is also, these are standards only, right? So HTTP, previously you will write HTTP, but now you write, the browser will say it's not secure. So you have to have HTTPS now. So along with this security, this HTTP has changed to HTTPS, and these are set of standards that allow users of World Wide Web to exchange information, which are found on web pages on internet. So basically, the web pages, Adan Pradan, taking, getting, sending is done using the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. If you see the web page, you will have HTML tag and a body, this kind of. So hypertext, it's a text which you can click and go to some other or navigate. This is also a kind of discussion we can have. How www is different from internet, and what is www? So answer is www. You can call it as web, you can call it as World Wide Web or W3. So this, as I said, World Wide Web, if you take a protocol that if you go to a marriage, you cannot go in your informals. It's always good to wear the formals. So World Wide Web is an internet-based service, and which use certain common suite of protocols, common set of rules, regulation known as protocols. And this is how we are sending the document, we are sending the digital pages, or it's a collection of massive pages, and this www is all collection of massive pages, documents, which are lying everywhere in the world, wherever it is. So when internet is a massive network, right? And there are different computers which are connected. So when you are connected, there are different pages, different documents, different audio, video, whichever thing is there. So World Wide Web is a way of exchanging information between computers on the internet. And this information can be anything. Previously, when internet started, it was mainly the HTML pages, or mainly the static pages. But now things have changed so drastically that you can have image, text, sound, video, whichever way, even the online streaming, everything is there in World Wide Web. So basically, www is the network of pages of this, all the data which I sent, and which can be viewed using the browser software. So in a page, if you don't find page, there is some certain error. So that are also a part of the protocol which you are following. This is www. Briefly explain the various types of servers. So server is, let me give you an example. That is I have some person working for me. So he is working for me, I pay him. So I am his server. But if I go to an office, I also have my master, and he is my server, and I am not the server. Okay, I am the client. So server and client, it's not important that a server will always be a server. It can be a client for someone. So client and server, you need to understand that they are not fixed, they change. So the server is mainly who serves. So there is a serving way you can work or serve. You can be served in any way. You can go to a hospital, you will be served by a doctor in a different way. You can go to a hospital. If you go to a hospital, then you will be treated in a different way, or say to a bank, a manager will treat you in a different way. Those all are your servers. I hope you got the idea. You are a client, but wherever you go, or you have different institution which serves you in a different way. So these are the servers we are talking about in internet. Mail server is basically transferring is of internet. So it provides a centrally located pool of disk space of networks used to store and share various documents in the form of emails. So whatever you type, you just send it. So there has to be some server which takes it, which will take care of all the, if problem is there, the mail you are sending, the email address is not valid, or these things. Application server. So application server is basically what for the programming content. You are making it. You are saying 2 plus 3. So application server is all the components. software developer, as a software developer, you are using it, API. That is, there will be a function, say add 2, 3. You just send 2 and 3 and you will get 5 in return. So this is an application server. I'm just telling you the basics of this, okay? It's not very advanced computer science. It's just basic thing I'm trying to tell you. Otherwise, mail server, application server is by itself a different science. So a file transfer protocol, name suggests. So you have a server and client, you want to send the data and receive the data. So FTP uses separate control and data connection between the client and the server. So FTP, there has to be some authentication, user server, username, password. But there has to be basically transfer of any kind of file. That file, when you transfer it, you can send it in stream, you can send it in the bytes or bit, whichever way you want. But there has to be a server for that. Database server, the name is suggest. The database server is a computer program that provides database services to other programs. Right? There has to be a client server model. So that is, what is the database? It's basically records. There are tables. And these records and table, they are somewhat connected. And that is how the database server will manage these records, manage the scalability, security, etc. And that is how you are, secure and you are tension free. Okay, we have a database server. Domain name server. Wherever you type a website or a name or whatever, abc.com, www.abc.com or yahoo.com is not known to our computer. They don't know it. They only know the number. So this name what you have written, what is the number behind it? That is the IP address behind it. What is the digital number behind it? That is the work of conversion, and that is done by domain name server. So name server is a computer server that hosts a network service for providing responses to queries. So it maps a numeric identification or addressing component, right? So abc.com will be something 127.2. Or says 3.4 like this. This is IPv4 I am saying. IPv6 may change. Differentiate between static web page and a dynamic web page. So this is, you can say, what was past and what is present. So when the internet came, it was only the content with certain written something. There is no animation except the marquee. There is a strip which was going just like that. So static page is a flat page, stationary page. That is, whatever is there, it will be, whatever is stored, whatever you have made, you will get exactly like this. That is, all the information will be different, same for the same users, same for the different users also. So if you are making an HTML, basic HTML, and you have some date, some cricket buzz, some cricket is going on, it is changing every time. So when you are able to see that every time whenever the ball is being thrown or bowled, you know the score. This is in a dynamic website. So this is refreshed every time and it is updated always. But there are certain technology like jQuery. Previously it was just HTML along with some styling, but now we have HTML, CSS, we have the JavaScript, jQuery, AngularJS, and along with this we have all the database, these servers are behind. So you have ASP.NET or PHP you are using, MySQL you are using. So all this content combined together. So whenever you type something in a Google, I'm just giving an example. Whenever you type one word, you will get some certain suggestions. How do these suggestions comes? Because there is some AngularJS or this jQuery which is working behind that will give you a suggestion. So it's a dynamic website. That is not a static website. Simran has a hobby of writing arts and short write-ups. She wants to share her views with the world, suggests that she can do to make her views public and share her thoughts with everyone. So your question is, we are so big now and we are working on Insta, FB, all these Twitter, etc. And now why do we need this blogging? But the thing is, everything would have started this, with certain basics. So this Insta will come and go, Facebook will come and go. But your personal website or a blogging website will always remain with you. So personal blogging or blogging is about your opinions, about your interest. So blog is always a website. Blog is nothing else. Don't confuse that blog is something different and website is something different. Blog is a website, but this website will contain about you. You'll talk about yourself. You'll give your interests, hobbies, update your all those things which you do in Facebook or Insta. You can do it here also. But here you will update, and this will be owned by you. This will be owned by you, and you will be able to handle this also. You have to maintain it also. What is a search engine? How does it work? Search engine is basically for searching certain stuff. What do you do when you search? What is a normal thing? You want to buy something, you go to one shop. You will try for that product, you don't get it. You go to another shop, then another shop. Finally, when you get it, you stop. You come back happily. This is what search engine does, and it has certain programs behind it which makes it possible that you get search all over web in just fractions of seconds. So all these Google, Yahoo, MSN, Bing, AOL, all these Ask.com, they are search engines only. So how does this work? What is search engine? Google has revolutionized everything. But what technologies they use? What do they do to make that first page gives you all the answer? So whatever you have made, see, I'll give you an example. You have made certain website, and somebody wants that to get some stuff. You are making a website, say for some game, some volleyball. I'm just saying example. There is another website also which was already being made, which is also dealing with volleyball. So now, how do this internet know that you have made a website? So there will be some web crawling. That is, it will always be crawling. There are spiders which will always be crawling and trying to find out where this volleyball content is there, volleyball content is there. So you just made a website, published it, and it will crawl. And then it will, based on certain ranking, certain hits, various other things, whether it is being paid or not. Sometimes websites are paid also. So this is how the crawler will listen to it and try to find out. And then it will just bring all those volleyball related website. Some website may already have been crawled, maybe sometime, and now your website which you have made, or your blog, or whichever thing you have made on the internet, that will be, even you have made a video on YouTube, that will also be crawled. So now all this crawling, it will be gathered and it will be indexed. So what is indexing? See, all these three, what you have made, what was already being made, it will be an index. So index is what? It's also, you have a book, you will have an index. So index will contain all the information about wherever these volleyball sites are there. So it will store data to facilitate fast, accurate information retrieval. And finally, the searching. That is, a web query will fetch you, give you the result from the web searcher, because something you are entering. Now, whatever you enter, that will be searched not all over internet, but only on the index. Because the index is already being populated because of the web crawling. Web crawling was done, index was made, now index is used for searching. So wherever you search, basic thing is indexing. Even if you search, say, some number or in a list of a number, what do? You do indexing only. Okay, you can have a crawl, then you can index. And then on the first page of Google, if you see, all the information comes, and it's very relevant also. What is a web server? What are the various services provided by web servers these days? So web server, as we discussed also earlier, which is serving you. Web server is serving you in the web, on internet, for pages, for documents, for content. So web server will have web server, website. It will have a page. For example, let us talk about, say, HostGator. So web server helps to deliver web content that can be accessed through the internet. And as I said, most web servers, they host websites. Right? Because the internet is not only used to fetch information, but there are other things also. Gaming, data storage, running business application. So not only website, all this content will be kept in web server. There is a counterpart also that is called application server, but because in application server is a bigger version. Web server is a part of application server. But here web server, you have web pages, graphics, you can just accept it. So web server is a program A software program which serves as web pages to web users, that is browser. This is what you have to see. And as I said, it has to be cost efficient. It will making this your way of working cost efficient. Resource sharing will be there, data sharing will be there, and backup recovery will also be there. What is a web page? How does it work, and how it is different from a website? Now, this question we are going to take in the next discussion. There are around 16-17 questions which we are going to take. So, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.